What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Watch and Listen podcast. This is a podcast all about watches. I'm your host, Matt Farah. I do it with my friend, Mr. Cameron Weiss, the CEO of the Weiss Watch Company, making watches from scratch right here in Los Angeles. This episode of Watch and Listen is brought to you by Crown & Caliber. Crown & Caliber is the number one place to buy a secondhand luxury watch on the internet. And make no mistake, you should only be buying luxury watches secondhand on the internet. The initial depreciation on most watches is horrible. You could save a lot of money by buying from Crown & Caliber. They have a team of watchmakers and technicians on staff, not to mention photographers, to make sure that the watch you see on that listing, the watch you pay your hard-earned money for, is exactly the watch you saw in the photo and works exactly as described. If for some reason it doesn't work, Crown & Caliber will handle it. That's true. They have a limited warranty even on used watches. They have over 2,000 watches in stock at any given time, so you're almost guaranteed to find a watch that you like in their inventory. Even if they don't have something you want, they can help you find it. That's right, they can source it for you. Got an extra watch, you want to trade up, trade out, trade laterally? You can sell them your watch or trade for another watch as well. Just click the Buy, Sell tab on their website. And for watch and listen listeners or watchers, you can use code CAM150, that's CAM150, CAM150, to get $150 off your first purchase at Crown & Caliber from your friends at the Watch and Listen podcast. Check it out, CAM150 at crownandcaliber.com. We're also brought to you by Beeline Coffee. I love my Beeline Coffee. I drink it every single morning, including this one. That is the smoking, or it's hard to say, the roasted tire, because I'm so used to saying the smoking tire. The roasted tire is my custom blend with Beeline, and it is just delicious. It's like a medium body, it's lighter roast, it's got a bunch of caffeine in it, gets you going in the morning, and it tastes delicious. I drink it every single morning. I love the stuff. Use code CHRONO at Beeline Coffee to get anything in their inventory, whether it's 1 pound, 10 pounds, or a year's supply, at 15% off. That's code CHRONO at Beeline Coffee for 15% off. We love the stuff. On this episode of the show, we are talking about co-branding, and co-branding is a topic that can either, it's a feature that can add value, or it can sometimes take value away and add a layer of cheeseball. For instance, if you've got a very rare Pan Am Daytona, probably adds value. If you've got a Tiffany dial, anything probably adds value. If you've got a car manufacturer co-brand, maybe not. And on this episode, I look at some of my favorite co-brands, as well as we've got some watches from Crown & Caliber. Some are great, some are a little weird, but it's all about sharing space on the dial, how to do it, how not to do it, on this episode of the Watch and Listen podcast. Folks, it's the Watch and Listen podcast. We is here. We got a double header today for us, not for you. For you, regularly scheduled programming. Cameron Weiss is in the building. What's up, brother?
Oh, lacking on sleep right now. But,
really? Is that because of the pregnant wife or because of all the watches you have to make?
Everything. Watches, pregnant wife. Just been pretty busy lately.
How far behind on watchmaking are you right now?
I'm a few weeks behind.
A few weeks behind?
There's some people that have been waiting a little extra long for their watches, but we want to make sure they're done right.
Well, make them right.
Yeah.
Patience, fools. Patience is a virtue when it comes to your Weiss watch. But, man, that's good, though, right? I guess. Yeah. I mean, you know, if you order, like, a handmade watch, like, if you got to wait a little bit, like, that's kind of okay.
Yeah. Better to have it perfect than quick.
Right. The good news is the people ordering the custom stuff, like the rally clocks for the 911s, we can wait.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush. We're good. Before we even get into this show, you are going to want to follow us on Instagram. Of course, I am the Smoking Tire. Cameron can be found at Weiss Watch Company, and of course, Cameron M. Weiss as well. But Weiss Watch Company is really where we want you to go, and you can buy a watch from him. And if you buy a watch, you're willing to wait, type watch and listen in the box. It's the comments box, right?
Yes, comments box.
And Cameron will send you one of these sweet little strap changing tools and an extra strap. And didn't you say you had new straps coming in? Do you have new? Is it suede for the fall?
Yes, we have new suede straps. We got a dark brown one, a light brown, and a really light, like a sand colored one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope. Today, we are talking about co-branded watches. That's when a watch works with a brand or a retailer that typically has nothing to do with watches to create a sort of limited run of product. And we can just dive right in and start with your watch, the Birdie.
Yeah, this
Right?
was a fun one.
Yeah. So give me a little insight as to how a watch company in general could end up doing a co-branded watch with someone that has nothing to do with watches.
I mean, for us with Birdwell, we're both LA companies making our products in Los Angeles, and the owner of Birdwell is also a watch nut. He loves
He's been on the show.
the mechanical watches. Yep, Matt Jacobson.
I almost said Matt Johnson. He's a rally photographer. Matt Jacobson, of course.
Yeah, so he had this interest in making a watch, and of course, we're in Los Angeles, and they're actually hand cutting and sewing their board shorts in the Los Angeles area. So it's kind of perfect to have the watches for Birdwell made in LA.
And your watch actually has, I would think, as far as the branding goes, like your watch has more changes to it than most branded watches. Most co-branded watches are really just the normal watch with a logo or a different buckle or a different case back or something like that, right?
Yeah, we wanted it to be a little more fun than just stamping like the Birdwell logo on there. We want to have something special.
Well, yeah, you've got
super limited.
the Birdie hands instead
Yeah.
of regular hands. You've got a completely different second hand that's like a wave that spins around.
Yeah.
So you actually have multiple parts differences.
Yeah, and it had to be a fun project for me, to take me away from the regular stuff and really get me to do it right. It had to be something that I would enjoy doing. So doing this, like you saw my Mickey Mouse
Mickey
watch
Mouse
that's
watches.
from my dad.
Right.
So this really, when he came up with that idea and was thinking about doing something like that, I was on board immediately.
But that's not to say that you haven't been involved in a more traditional co-brand. Like, for instance, you've got this Allen Edmonds one happening, which is pretty much your standard watch with their logo and a different color, right?
And it might seem traditional, but that's actually the first DLC coding we've ever done.
Oh, really?
Which is very complex, actually.
On the dial?
On the case. So the black on the case is the DLC, and there's actually nobody doing any kind of volume DLC coding for the watch industry in the U.S.
All right.
So we had to work with companies that actually would have to contact Swiss companies and German companies that are used to doing watch parts and teach them here in Southern California how to actually make all the fixtures and do the DLC coding to a level that is jewelry level.
So you didn't outsource the DLC then? You had someone teach someone in California how to do it, as opposed to just getting your cases from Japan or Switzerland?
Exactly. So we had to go through that whole process of introducing watch and jewelry DLC coding to the U.S.
Oh, I didn't realize that there was that much into it.
Yeah, there's a lot. And then the rhodium as well.
You should really market that portion of it better. I just thought it was a different color with a logo.
Yeah, it's hard to even explain that kind of thing. Same thing with the black rhodium. It's like a really, almost like a anthracite gray.
Where is the black? Like
on the movement.
Oh, the actual plates.
Exactly, and it's like a darker gray instead of the bright silver.
Is the
Birdie has the bright silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So your watches are actually a lot more different.
Yeah, and we've got another one with Birdwell coming up soon. Nice. That is another thing that is a first for us.
Really?
So that one's going to be pretty rad. It's actually titanium.
Oh, really?
Our first titanium cases.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is Grant making those?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's currently at the workshop finishing up the cases.
Did you have to buy new drill bits for the CNC machine for that?
Yeah, everything's new. We had to figure out a new way to make them. It takes 4 times as long, and the material is twice as expensive.
Oh, this is why you're 4 weeks behind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how that happens. So, that's like, this is all state of the art stuff. Actually, this is actually what you're doing with a co-brand is actually quite a bit further than what most people have done.
Yeah,
in the past, and we've got
there's
quite
some
a few
interesting
examples.
ones out there, but then there's some other ones that are real simple, just put a logo on the dial.
Well, that's sort of when I started doing research for this episode. That's kind of where I was at, is put a logo on the dial.
Yeah.
That's really where I mean, there's if we go back to the Bremont, the ejector seat thing.
Yeah.
That's sort of a co-brand, but it's not really a co-brand. That's more like a watch that was built for a specific function. Like co-brand to me, like if we want to go back, like I'm thinking like this, like if we just go back, like Hamilton has done some of these field watches, co-branded with a retailer, right? If the where Orvis is a good one. Orvis I like because my father was on the board of directors at Orvis, so I like the Hamilton Orvis.
It's a good American company as well.
Orvis is sweet. Didn't you sell a watch through Orvis or want to? You did,
yeah.
Right?
We sold our latte dial through Orvis. They do a special like American-made insert every once in a while where they just focus on American-made products, and they have our watch in that.
So they do, Orvis does guns, they do fly fishing equipment, they do clothing. Same thing, LL Bean. If you've ever gone to a high school, you know about LL Bean, backpacks and outdoor wear. And then Hamilton also, and this one is from Brookstone, which you've seen at the airport pretty much. They kind of sell hokey shit, but
this one they didn't put a little back massager in there or anything.
Yeah, that would be sweet actually if it like a wrist massage function. But then Rolex has done many of the co-branded dials. This one I think is actually my favorite of the Rolex dials. This is an old school. I think this is actually a pre-Daytona.
Yes,
this is a pre-Daytona. And this was a Pan Am logoed one. It really just has the Pan Am logo on it. And this was before the GMT Master came out, before all the Pepsi colors and all that stuff. This is really a pilot's watch, I guess.
Do you know if that's a blue bezel, or is the picture just looking a little kind of bluish?
I don't know. You want me to try and find another picture of it?
Right?
It does look awesome with the...
Because I don't think there's any other example of a blue bezel Daytona.
I don't know.
Right? That really looks blue.
That looks blue. Here's another picture. That looks
that's
blue.
definitely blue.
Not only is that blue, it looks almost bakelite blue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's extremely dope.
Right? I'd say that's one of the more unique ones that Rolex has done as far as some sort of collaboration or made for.
Right. This is very, very cool. And obviously there's a link between flying and timekeeping. Pretty standard, obvious stuff at this point in our journey. But here's another one very famous, the Rolex Tiffany dial, and also you have your Patek Tiffany dial as well. Tiffany is a retailer. If you've never heard of Tiffany, I don't know what fucking rock you've been living under. But they had in the past, they were an official Rolex retailer in New York City and had them make custom dials, and these are now worth a ton of money. As any Rolex collector will tell you, 4 or 5 letters difference could be like $100,000 in one of these watches. Yeah. And the Tiffany dial Pateks are sold exclusively through the Tiffany store in New York City, and they are impossible to get. And if you get one and you walk out of the store with it, it's instantly worth 20% more than you paid for it.
Yeah. I've been into that store. It's an impressive, good store. Just impressive. If you can get in there and have an appointment and see what they've got, it's worth it.
I could get you an appointment, I think.
Yeah?
I think I could. I think I know a guy.
It's worthwhile.
These are special because not only is it a co-brand, it signifies that you were able to get the appointment and get one through this is one
It's not your
store.
first Patek. You probably bought
not.
10 or 15 from the Tiffany store.
And I'm pretty sure that you can get all the models with the Tiffany dial, right? I think you can get all Pateks through that store with a Tiffany dial.
I think so. If you're a good enough customer and you wait long enough, I would imagine they'd do it for any of them.
And this one's the annual calendar. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Although the more I look at the Nautilus and the Aquanaut, Carl's thing about the date font keeps sticking with me.
Yeah.
The date font stands out as being like, why is the date font different from the font on this wheel? Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
That's weird to me. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I prefer if the date wheel matches at least. Sometimes you have 2 different fonts on the dial. You might have your minutes are in a different font and your hours are in a different font.
Yeah.
You have to at least match one of them.
You got to match one of them.
Otherwise, you end up with 3 or 4 fonts, and it's a little weird.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the numbers, at least.
But in this one, it really signifies that. I don't know if it makes it better, but it just says on there this was rare and hard to get.
Yeah. And that makes a huge difference in watch collecting.
Yeah, I mean you walk down Rodeo and you've got like 10 Armenians all wearing Nautiluses.
Yeah, but do they have the Tiffany dial?
One has the Tiffany dial, and that's what it is. But then you have like weird, oddball, fun ones. Like this one is actually, I think, this is my favorite of all co-brands. The Domino's Pizza
Domino's.
Rolex Air King. These were given by Domino's corporate to the managers of the best performing stores. And they're just the basic Air King, 36 millimeter, nothing too special. But they've got the Domino's Pizza logo on it. I just love it.
And you know that guy was selling some serious pizzas in order to earn that Rolex.
Slanging pizzas.
He had his eyes on the prize.
This is like in the 80s too. So like Domino's was like huge. And you had to sell mad Domino's pizzas to get
I
one
bet
of these things.
the provenance of having one of these guys who actually has it documented, like a picture of him at his Domino's
pizza
branch.
box and papers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this was the 1 millionth pie that I sold in order to make it over the Rolex hump.
Oh, I'm so about that, dude. And then like you got this one I really like too. This one is a 25 years of service Coca-Cola Rolex. This one's from 1959. I think it's just a regular Oyster Perpetual. But I guess this one went to an executive or a hard worker or something as a thank you for being there. But Coke, Pepsi, a lot of, and now these are before we got the nickname Coke and Pepsi Rolexes. Yeah. These are like the official ones.
I get questions every once in a while from people asking me because the company they work for has like a corporate gifting program, and they're like, I'm coming up on 20 years, and they're offering me an Omega or a Rolex, and it's this watch. Which one should I choose? And it's kind of interesting to see that there are still companies out there that are.
Do they have something on
like
the dial, or are they just buying them? They're just buying.
Most
them
of them don't do anything
now, right?
on the dial now because the company like Rolex, they don't do that anymore unless you're really special.
Rolex stopped the Tiffany dials, right? Not Tiffany.
Because Rolex stopped selling them.
Yeah.
Rolex stopped selling to them.
And then our friend Carl Ruiz was on here. This was a functional partnership. This was before the pre-Sea Dweller, right?
Yeah. So they started before the Sea Dweller, in the development of the Sea Dweller.
Right. So COMEX was a French, I think, diving company, commercial diving company, and they needed a better Submariner. And so this one seems to have had replaced hands at some point, but the early Sea Dwellers have this COMEX logo on them, and these are like huge money.
Yeah.
But these are all pretty much basic, your standard models just with a special logo on the dial. Then you have fully developed and integrated models. Like this is a Richard Mille McLaren. This is, you can even see it says McLaren right here. Here's kind of where they lose me. I don't know about these. And even Rachel from Crown and Caliber was like, you're going to hate all these watches that we send you because I know you hate co-branding. But like, first off, I can't tell the time on any Richard Mille watch.
They're tough. Yeah.
That is so hard to tell time on this thing.
Yeah. I think they look amazing from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
But to actually wear that, it's a pretty serious statement, and it's a lot of money. If you wear it and you go, you know what, I don't really like this. I can't see anything on the dial.
Yeah, I don't think, but everyone, like my friend says who works there, bro, no one wears them to tell time.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
But I do like how Richard Mille, I know it's Richard Mille, people don't, but I call it Richard Mille in America. I do like how in certain specific functions they incorporate, like for instance, like the Bubba Watson. You're not supposed to wear a watch while playing golf, but the Bubba Watson watch is designed to be worn while playing golf. And like ironically, the Alan Prost watch, who was a Formula One driver, he's now likes to cycle. So they have a watch that is curved a certain way so that when you're cycling with your hands on the handlebars, it's better for that. Yeah. So I do like that they have changed and incorporate the functions of the watch, for specific activities, and they haven't just put a name on it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they've done so much development and research into making the most shock-proof tourbillon. That was really what they were known for, was coming up with that tourbillon design that is so lightweight that Rafa could wear it playing tennis, and serving, and no problem whatever.
Is that what makes it so shockproof? That the mass is so low?
Yeah,
because it's
special materials,
right? Because
and
it's the
keeping
difference between the mass of A and B that causes the shock, right?
Yeah, so the more lightweight the entire tourbillon is, the better.
And that's the Nadal.
Yeah. He was the first one, and you saw the headlines like Nadal wearing $500,000 watch.
Right,
and
right.
He's actually playing in it.
Yeah.
So over the years they've been developing his watch and improving it, and coming out with new issues.
Not a great picture, sorry folks, but it's you can see it from space.
Yeah.
Also, can't tell time on it.
Yep.
It's really, but it's a good thing it keeps time while he's playing tennis because you can't actually tell the time on this thing.
Just a crazy engineering feat, and they price it that way.
Yeah, isn't it like $300,000?
More than that, $500,000.
It's $500,000.
Yeah.
Here's a better image of it.
I don't know about this one in particular, but I know that I have seen some of the ones that he wears. It's morphed over time because, of course, you're gonna have like a limited edition.
Straight up cannot read the time on this thing,
right?
Like it's actually very difficult.
Yeah.
They should really do the
shape
whole
doesn't
hand.
help either because it's not round. So when you go from a round case to the tonneau shape, it's tough anyway to begin with. And then they have everything skeletonized and super lightweight and titanium and black anodized and all this.
That's a manual wind watch, right?
Yes.
There's no automatic winder in that.
I don't think they'd let him play in an automatic. I think it would break.
It probably would.
Yeah, the weight as you hit a ball, that mass spinning around would certainly cause some kind of damage.
That thing is real crazy.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the extreme of function for that. But Crown and Caliber sent us some more traditional co-brands. You want to grab one and let's start somewhere. What do we got?
Let's do the Tiffany dial Chopard.
Oh yeah, we could go.
Right?
We'll just go back to Tiffany dial. So I guess more
Super
than
simple.
more than Rolex and Patek. Here's a Chopard with a Tiffany dial. I'll zoom in a little bit. Simple.
Yeah.
It's very small. It's very thin. Just a two-hander. How old do you think
super
that
thin
is?
manual wind. I don't know, but judging from the style, it's got to be like 30 years old.
Easy, right?
Yeah. Because it's a pretty small watch, very thin. Just a manual wind Chopard, Tiffany stamp on the dial. Sold
Simple.
through Tiffany.
Very simple, but probably worth what, twice as much as if it didn't have the stamp on it,
Probably.
right?
Yeah.
But they can go.
Otherwise, it would be a completely uninteresting watch.
Is there any other ones where they'd be worth less because they have a thing?
I think a lot of times with co-branding, sometimes they can end up being worth less.
Like that? Like the Breitling for Bentley, which is my least favorite co-branded watch ever. These two, the Hublot Ferrari and the Breitling for Bentley.
Look at the size difference on that.
I gotta
Right?
That is both men's watches.
Yeah.
That thing
Different strokes for different folks.
The Bentley one is so funny because they really hit it on the nose, right? They've got these vintage looking steering wheels for like chronograph dials. And I think if you flip it over, was it a flying spur winding rotor like the other one was? It's a flying spur winding rotor on the back. The Breitling for Bentley is how I learned that you cannot wear a watch ironically. I tried to wear it ironically as a goof, but people just look at you like you're an asshole.
Yeah, I have a hard time with Breitling because of all the polishing on all the surfaces. They need to mix it up a little bit with the brushed and the polish.
It's really, really...
All high polish is tough.
It's really shiny.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate this watch so much.
I think...
You have to be a Russian gangster to wear this thing.
Yeah. I think the Breitlings that are not Breitling for Bentley have better resale value, probably.
Yeah. I liked the Super Ocean that we had, and I even liked the Navitimer a little bit.
Yep.
But these are not tasteful.
And also hard to tell the time because you have the silver high polished hands and the white dial, and
the
hands
like
just kind of disappear.
but
You just
way
see the
bigger.
wheel subdials.
You can. I guess it does help that the subdials are black because it covers. You see the negative space of it, but
Yeah.
yikes, that's not. And then the Hublot. This is a Ferrari Hublot, which I guess was Hublot official Formula One sponsor for a while. I think
they were.
right.
Now this one, I'm going to disagree with you. I like this
You like
watch.
this one?
Not because I particularly like the style or anything, but I think they did a really nice job on the movement. It's the Unico movement, which is an actual in-house movement that they
Yeah.
created, chronograph. But in this particular instance, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. I'm going to operate the chronograph.
Okay.
And the way the chronograph buttons rock, I think is awesome. They're these long buttons right here.
Uh-huh.
And you see how it
Oh,
rocks?
yeah. It's hinged on one side.
So
I'll
that's
give
something
I'll
I've
give
never
you points
seen.
for that button system.
And the way that it operates, you can see the castle wheel right here in the dial. So column wheel. And you can watch it actually mechanically function, changing from start, stop, reset, which I think is pretty cool. But it's a lot going on in the dial.
I prefer this winding rotor to the flying spur winding. Oh, it says Ferrari on the button, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it says Ferrari on the button. I do like that it doesn't say Ferrari on the dial. Or does it?
I don't think it says
there's
Ferrari,
a horse.
but there is
there's
a horse. You see the horse over at 9?
Hold it still. I'll zoom in on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. They lost me.
Oh, here, you can see the crown wheel now. See it
yeah.
rotating there above
Yeah.
the 6?
Yeah. That's cool.
Right? So that's your actual chronograph functioning in there.
That's cool, but they lose me at the Ferrari horse.
Yeah.
I just can't. I have a real hard time with the direct, overt link between the cars and the watches. You know, I
Yeah.
just think there's there's enough.
It's not about the logo. It's about
Right.
the overall design and how the watch kind of fits into the two brands rather
Right.
than just logos on them. Yeah.
That one. Oh, there we go. Sorry. That one's a little odd. I do like. Okay, in an example of a better co-brand with car. Oop, I zoomed in too far. Here's this is an IWC Ingenieur.
Yeah.
Co-branded with AMG Mercedes. I was actually we've talked about this one before because I had a E63 AMG press car, and this dial design was the same as the clock in the car, which
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool. And I was just at the racetrack this past weekend, and my friend Jack was wearing one of these. He went on some AMG driving experience, and everyone there did like a hot lap or an autocross or something, and the winner won one of these.
That's cool.
And he won, and he had the one that they gave him that he won at the thing. So I like this because it honestly it doesn't say AMG on it anywhere obvious. You have to flip it over.
Right. It must be on the case
It's
back.
on the case back. Yeah. So if you flip it over, it says AMG. Where does it say AMG somewhere? Right. Mercedes AMG something something. What does it say? For Mercedes AMG. And then it's got some little iconography. What does that say right before?
Here, I'll have to pull it
you
away
have
to
hold-
read.
Sorry.
It says, by IWC exclusively for Mercedes AMG.
Yeah. That one's actually
Yep.
made of titanium.
Yeah, totally titanium.
Yeah.
Pretty lightweight watch.
But I like that, like, you know, put whatever you want on the case back, but, like, leave my dial alone.
Yeah.
You know? It's a nice, like, I like this because it's, like, restrained, you know?
Yeah.
Conservative.
So what did they do, though? Was it just like the color of like the red with the black? Was that their thing?
I think it's...
Like, how would you tell this apart aside from the case back?
I think that it's titanium.
Okay, so
I think
they
the
were the one that
titanium-
got the titanium
Yeah.
version. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be proven wrong on that, but I think that's what it was. And also that, you know, they have continued to use this dial design in their clocks.
Yeah.
On Mercedes. So I think that's car co-branding done right. And then but so this is a new one, right? That's not an old one.
No. Yeah, this is one of the newer versions.
So now they're Hoyer's really capitalizing on this one.
Gulf.
Here's a Gulf Monaco.
Yeah.
Really on the nose with that.
Yeah.
You got with the Monaco, the square thing, you either love it or you hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I'd try to get a vintage one if I was actually gonna go for this. I'd want a vintage one.
And I don't understand why having the Gulf logo on it improves it there.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
yeah.
Let me get a picture of an original Hoyer Monaco. Like there we go. Where's the original? Is this the original here?
No,
It's the original.
it'll probably be hard to find now with all the new versions they've
man.
come out with. Probably just type vintage, huh?
Yeah, I'll find a vintage one. Oh yeah.
There
This-
you go.
Yeah, the original was like super, super basic.
Yeah. And again, you see the brushed surfaces? They have a mix of brushing and high polish.
Right.
Whereas the one that they've got here, it's all high polish, except just the sides. Just the sides here, but you can't really see from the front. It's just all glossy.
I just don't. I get it. Steve McQueen, Gulf. Like, you just don't need to put it on there.
Yeah.
Like, you're total. Like, this is much more like restrained and, I don't know, tasteful. I hate to be that guy. I'm not like usually that snobby about it, but just feels like
there's a fine line of where it becomes like throwing decals on something, a whole bunch of stickers or something.
Yeah.
Like
if you Gulf livery something that isn't the right thing to Gulf livery, also it looks a little weird. But yeah, so that's tangentially automotive, but I don't know. Then you've got James Bond. James Bond.
He has a lot of watches.
He had a lot of watches. He started with Rolex, and then now it's Omega. We actually have 2 James Bond watches. That one and that one are 2 sort of the new. This one is new-ish, right? And they actually the 007 is on the. Do we call it the counterweight? What's the counterbalance?
Yeah, it's like a counterbalance on the tail of the second hand.
With a 007 and a gun cruising around there.
Yeah. Which is actually, it's pretty complex to get that on there. That's a serious laser that cuts that hand. It's $1 million laser that cuts that hand.
That's not surprising, actually.
Yeah.
I believe that. That's a fine, especially like in the grip of the gun.
Yeah.
It's like really, really fine.
Yeah.
But I don't like the look of this watch.
I think if you're looking for a dive watch that has totally different coloring, like it's not your black dial with black bezel, it's pretty cool if you're looking for the like white with blue and red.
And I mean, I guess it's cool that it's not like super in your face.
Yeah.
Like you don't immediately notice the 007.
Yeah. Like some of the older ones that were just like 007, like printed all over the dial over and over again.
Oh, wait, where was that one?
Yeah, those ones were a little much for me.
It was, where I'm going to get a picture of that one.
Like the Seamaster 007. Yeah, these guys.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is way too much. Here, wait, hang on. See, here's 007 gone wrong.
Yeah, it's a little too much 007.
That's like, oh, my God. This is like the Shelby F-150 where there's like 25 Shelby badges all over it. That's way too much James Bond. Way too much. You picked it up.
Oh, I wanted to show the oscillating weight.
It does say
because they also have a nice movement, and the oscillating weight is a custom one for this.
Does that say Commander's Watch, limited edition?
Let's see.
Flip it the other way. Yeah. Commander's Watch.
Yeah, limited edition.
Limited 2906 out of
7,007. So it's like they add a 7 to the front of 007 so that they can sell a lot of them.
Yeah. That's medium lame.
Yeah.
The other one does it better. The Seamaster 300 does it even better.
Yeah.
Because the Seamaster 300, this one...
They do... I have to hand it to them for these NATO straps, though. They make a really nice NATO strap.
This is a nice NATO strap. Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the back of this one because the front of the Seamaster is good.
The movement on that is... it's a gorgeous movement. So really... It's with a newer movement as well. Whereas this one, in this white dial... here, that Seamaster had a variant of the 2892 ETA movement. This one here, this dive watch, has one of the new Omega coaxial calibers in it. So there's the front, but I'll just flip it to the back real quick.
Back, this one also limited edition of 7007.
Yeah.
This is the Spectre James Bond one.
Yes.
I like this one because at the outside, you really can't see any James Bond stuff.
Yeah, you would never know.
James Bond wouldn't wear shit that says 007 on it. And what you can see is, where is this guy? On this.
On the buckle.
On the buckle, there's just a little 007 on the buckle. There. That's all right.
Right?
I like it. I like, the more subtle, unless you're talking about a Domino's Pizza logo, in which case, bring it the fuck on.
Yeah.
The more subtle the branding, the better, I think. But that one, the black one, the Seamaster 300 did it better. That's good and tasteful. That's almost exactly the same as the standard one. Which I like. That's a good one. Where were we over here, Richard? Oh yeah, here's a fun one. Wait, did I not open it?
Here's a fun one. I like back in the airline theme. Here's a sin for Lufthansa Cargo 747-200 commemorative
Right.
edition. A fan sent me this one, and I'm not really sure what it's supposed to do, but I like the GMT hand is the airplane. That's kind of fun. And Lufthansa is a really good color scheme. This white, blue, yellow thing, that works for me.
Yeah, and they even have their plane that they use on the bottom there, the 747-200F.
Which is awesome, I think.
Yeah.
That's
so I
a
wonder
fun
if
one.
like the crew or like whoever is loading these planes or flying these planes, I don't know.
That seems like a pilot, right? Isn't
Right?
that a tachymeter on top?
No, that
is
is
that?
it looks like something to do with, I have no idea actually. FL on the left and then GW. I'd have to
FL and GW.
I wonder if so meters, right?
M
meters
equals
point-
0.84. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, it might have something to do with the weight because they are flying cargo. So
Gross-
maybe it's like
gross
how much
weight?
weight you're carrying and how it affects your fuel consumption or something.
Oh, yeah.
Some special scale that's only used for planes that are
For
carrying heavy
Lufthansa
things.
cargo pilots, I guess.
Yeah.
More
some
importantly,
pilot that's flying cargo planes will have to let us know.
more importantly, it looks cool. Hang on, let
Yeah.
me see. Let me see if I can
Get
get
a
one
description?
for sale. Nope.
Yeah, because that is interesting. I've never seen that scale before.
Sin Lufthansa Cargo. Limited edition. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that one's pretty cool too. Wait, here's a different one.
Although that one doesn't have that scale on
It doesn't. Maybe they abandoned it.
Yeah.
But it's got this tiny little GMT thing in the middle with the plane.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. $2,300 on that one. I don't know what that website's about, but that's okay.
Watch Buys, they're the official distributor in the U.S. for Sin.
Oh,
so
they
you
are?
can buy directly from them, and they're the ones who have like the distribution rights in the U.S. So they
yeah.
do all the warranty stuff as well.
And here's a fun one. I like this one. This is the Hoyer Seafarer. We talked about this on History
Yeah.
of Tag Heuer. This one does tides. It's got a tide chart on it, and this was sold through Abercrombie and Fitch back when that meant something.
Yeah, I love watches with tides on them. That's
Ti-
a complication I would love to do.
Because what would make it so difficult to do? Because it's just an odd number?
No, it's not difficult to do. It's just only certain people are interested in it. Think about the people who are coastal, and
Dude, you
it's
should
pretty
make
limiting.
one.
But I
You
think
should-
it would be really cool. I
You're-
have one watch from my childhood that I've held on to is a watch that did tides.
What was it?
It is a freestyle watch. It's a quartz one, but not like a digital. It's an analog display, titanium watch, big beefy titanium dive looking watch.
Yeah.
But it has spring and neap tides on the bezel
Oh, cool.
that you can set, and then it also has your high tide, low tide on like a 4-quadrant disc in the center that turns.
Like this one here.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly like that, except it's in the center. So you've got an hour and minute hand, and then you've got the center dial with the high and low tide,
That's pretty cool.
which will match up with your hour hand or whatever.
I like that.
And
That's cool.
then on the bezel, you have your spring and neap tide that you set to the moon so that you know when you're, like if you're nearing that time of the month when you're going to have a spring tide or a neap tide.
I like that.
Yeah.
This one's cool. Abercrombie, they don't really mean anything anymore, but I liked that this was a thing that they did.
Yeah.
at that
Seafarer is a
point.
cool name, too. I like that name.
It is a good name, right? That's the good. Uh-oh. I pressed the wrong button. Oh, no. I ruined it. What else have they sent us? What else did Crown and Caliber send us? Anything else?
Let's figure out what this Bell & Ross is. I have never seen this one.
So-
What is a BR-Bird? I'm guessing it's some sort of plane.
BR-Bird. So Bell & Ross is interesting because Racing Bird. BR Racing Bird. Bell & Ross is owned by Chanel. Oh, is this their air race plane?
Okay.
Which is a
VR
fucking
Bird.
badass plane, by the way. That looks rad. Let's click Learn
So
More.
is that like the manufacturer of the plane, or...
Bell & Ross has designed its plane. After designing racing cars inspired by aeronautical shapes, Bell & Ross has now designed a plane of its own. It should come as no surprise that it's a high-speed plane capable of competing in the Reno air races in record-breaking style. Okay.
Interesting. So is that a co-brand then? If it's their own plane?
I don't know. They've also apparently designed a car called an Aero GT. Okay. Oh, and a belly tanker. Okay. Bell & Ross seems like they like to have fun.
Yeah. Well, the guys that own it, it's a couple. Well, I don't know if they own it, but they started it. They're a couple designers out of France.
It does make sense. This is very
Yeah.
cool. The other one that I want to talk about from Bell and Ross was the Raphael, which was named after a fighter jet, which was pretty cool. Rafale, not Raphael, Rafale. This is an interesting one. I'm getting a picture of right now. Hang on, because as my friend Carl said, it was interesting because it's a combination of fashion and military technology. It's really named after a fighter jet, and this watch is meant to sort of commemorate this fighter jet, which I think was kind of cool and weird. Although it's a very nice watch. Can I just get a picture of it? I understand your video, but
Is it all black or is that like a gray kind of
it's a
stealth?
gray, like ceramic.
Okay.
It's a pretty cool watch. The Rafale, the BR0394 Rafale, named after or co-branded for a military aircraft, which I found rather interesting.
Yeah. I like that color combination with all
Yeah, that
the
works,
black and
right?
the gray and a little bit of orange.
Here, I'll try and just get here's just a normal picture of it.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't that work?
Yeah.
I think that works pretty well, actually.
Yeah, for their like square case and design, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this one. It's a really nice color combination.
Right? Or is that like a sandy khaki color or like an olive drab? I can't even tell.
I don't know. I think
I guess it depends on the
changes.
light.
It depends on the
right?
light, and they may offer straight up different colors. No, it's just
Right? It's like a gray. I bet because they have an anti-reflective coating on there,
Oh,
what can
yeah.
happen is sometimes different lights, it will
just-
actually go from like a bluish gray and blackish gray
Yeah,
to a lighter looking color.
pretty cool. I
Yeah.
kind of like that one.
Yeah, that's nice.
The fighter pilot thing works for me. So the racing bird is interesting. I like the colors on this.
Right?
The
blue and the gray and the white and a little bit of orange.
Bell and Ross really does a white and blue really nicely.
Yeah.
I like their round watches, man. Their round watches are cool. I think if I was going to buy one, I'd still buy a square one, but yeah, the racing bird.
Yeah. And it's kind of a small watch, but if you're looking for a small watch, be perfect.
Good. That's
Like
me.
a thinner,
What's that, like a 36, 38?
I think that's a 38.
I like when you can see more than one date too. Like when you can see the more of the gauge
Yeah.
and it's not just one little window. I like that's kind of a thing that people are doing now.
Yeah,
I
it
like.
looks very aviation inspired for sure.
What movement do you think this thing is?
Probably a 2892 or maybe one of the Solita variants.
Just basic stuff, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
They focus a lot more on the design of the dial and case and the hands and everything. Every once in a while, they'll come out with a crazy complication. Like they recently actually came out with, what was it? Gosh, I think it was a new chronograph or something. I don't know. It was a module that they put on a movement, and it was skeletonized and just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
but it was also very expensive. It was like $30,000 or something.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah, it just came out I think last week.
The skeleton tourbillon?
It was not a tourbillon.
Jesus, look at that. That's
that one
clear.
that one would be pretty pricey. That one's all sapphire case and everything.
X1 skeleton tourbillon? No, that's a little too much.
This one was a skeletonized chronograph, I'm pretty sure.
Let's find out. Skeleton chronograph. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Rose gold. That's pretty cool.
It was I think it was a similar one to this one. I
Only
know it
watch?
was on Hodinkee recently,
I don't know.
but yeah,
Looks
every once in a while
expensive.
they'll come out with stuff like that where they do a little more on the movement engineering.
BRX1 Hyperstellar.
Yeah.
That's fun. Man, their designs are cool. One day I'm going to buy one of these things. They look neat. They're just a cool looking watch. What else do we have in this style? We got Bremonts?
Yeah, Bremont.
What are the Bremonts co-branded with?
There's a Jaguar,
Okay.
and then there is a Boeing.
Uh-oh.
Interesting, right?
I'd rather have a Boeing than a Jaguar.
Right, look at the Jaguar. It's a little more unique on the dial side for sure.
So the Jaguar looks a lot like a gauge. It actually looks like a tachometer
Right.
from, a vintage style Jaguar. Like definitely like a D-type or an XK120 type of thing. I actually like what they're going for here, except for their stupid fake red line.
Yeah, I think the red line and what happens between 4 and 8. You just don't care what time it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I don't. Yeah, basically, like it's meant to evoke a gauge, which
Yeah.
it clearly does, but they've just left off all the numbers between 4 and 8 and created a fake red line. So
Yeah.
I guess between 3 and 4, you know what? It's a good watch for. It's a good watch for partying in New York City.
Yeah.
Shit ends at 4 a.m. Right? Your party starts at 8 p.m. you hit that red line, and when you hit red line, it's time to
Yeah,
start
it's time to
finding
go
that
home.
whoever that girl is going to be. And then at 4, you cash out because time no longer counts.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
I think it's
one's
got some cool, unique things, but it's a little too much, I think.
It's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need my watch to actually
Big old
look
Jaguar
like a
on the back.
Whoa. And then it says Jaguar right next to where it says Jaguar.
Yeah.
It says Jaguar twice within a centimeter of each other. That's not working for me. What about the Boeing one? Seems a little more chill.
Yeah, the Boeing one, you can't
White
really
dial.
even tell what it is
Where
from
does
the
it even
front.
say Boeing?
So this is a unique design, the case design and the dial. This was just for the Boeing watch. And then on the back, you've
Oh,
got
wow.
mention of Boeing.
Well, that's a very pretty case back and movement, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like when it doesn't say the brand on the dial too. I like
Right.
I like when like the Omega did this with some Speedmasters in Japan. I wrote it down. What's it called? The Speed. I did not write it down. I thought I did. There's a department store called Mitsu. I'm gonna fuck that up.
Matsuwa?
No, it's not Mitsu.
The grocery store?
No. Speedmaster. No boy. Mitsukoshi.
Ah.
Thank you. The Speedmaster Mitsukoshi is this, and it doesn't actually say anything. It's just a unique dial
dial, yeah.
combination sold in that particular store, which is a nice looking Speedmaster, actually.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, you have two different ways to do it. You take a regular watch and you put a logo on the dial to change it, or you make a new regular watch that is unique to that co-brand.
Right. Which I think
You know,
is
the
interesting.
second I think is a better
that's,
idea.
That's more like what Hodinkey's doing, right?
Yeah.
Like Hodinkey, like I just bought that Orange Boy Autavia thing. I'll get which is the same as as a regular Autavia. It just has a completely unique color combination, and it has the orange on the hands, the orange on the subdials, and it doesn't actually say Orange Boy or Hodinkey or anything on it.
Yeah.
It just has a subtle difference in color combinations and is made in a limited edition. I just heard from them. This ships second week in November.
All right.
Anticipation is building.
We'll have it here soon.
I'm very excited. But that's one way of tackling it without having to put any logos or anything at all on it.
Yeah.
I like what Bremont did here with this one. Like, this just looks like a normal watch. It doesn't
Yeah.
have,
I'm pretty sure the white dial variant is only with Boeing.
Yeah. And what does it say above chronometer at the bottom? Is that a logo of some kind? Or
Yeah,
not
it's
really?
a logo. Let me move the hands out of the way.
It doesn't. I don't think it's a Boeing logo. Is it?
No, it's not a Boeing logo. It has something to do with the shock proof, I think. The movement holder that they've got in there. I think it's like an anti-shock kind of logo.
Oh yeah, that looks like it could
Right?
be a shock resistant thing.
Yeah, because if I'll flip it over and you can see the movement retaining ring has like a special material in there around the edges. Probably some sort of like rubberized material in order to keep the movement from slamming into the case if it was shocked.
Oh, what does that say on the side? Something shock. Anti-shock? It says anti-shock on the side. It
Anti-shock.
does. It says anti-shock on the side. Yeah.
Anti-shock.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's really well executed. That's tasteful.
Yeah. So there's the only Boeing logo on there at the top there.
I don't mind that it says Boeing on the back, but I'm happy it doesn't say it on the front.
Yeah.
Boeing is cooler though. Like, an airplane manufacturer is going to be way cooler than a car manufacturer, for sure.
Yeah, it's more exotic.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially like commercial grade airplane or
Yeah.
like a fighter plane. Like if it was like, Bremont Gulfstream 5 edition, I'd be like, oh, that's fucking
Yeah.
lame. But if it's like F-16 edition, like that's way cooler.
Definitely.
Do we have anything else that we haven't gone through yet? I think is that all of them?
No, we missed the...
Oh, we missed the JLC.
This is an interesting, too. And it doesn't have...
The JLC is interesting because it's an alarm watch. It's a Memovox.
Yeah.
This one's for Aston Martin.
Yeah. They did a bunch of watches with Aston Martin, actually. These Amvox
Is that what it's called? Amvox?
Well, I don't know.
Or is that? Did
I
you
know
make
of
that
the
name up?
Amvox ones. They also did the one I really like is a chronograph that they made that it's a totally different chronograph mechanism, and you use the crystal to actually the crystal pivots, and you can press the start stop with the crystal.
Oh, I've seen you. I think you talked about that before. Which one is that?
So this
is that
right
this?
here. Yeah. So the chronograph mechanism
Wait, so
is going to be on these subdials over here.
oh wow, these little tiny half subdials, and so
Yeah.
you actually press the crystal
You
down.
press the crystal. There's a little lock on the side so that you
Which
don't
this guy's-
accidentally activate it.
Yeah, this guy's thumb seems to be holding that down.
So you unlock it, and then you can press the crystal, and the crystal will shift and actually press the button.
Boy, does that sound fragile.
Right? I have no idea how they designed it because I've never opened one of these up.
But also, both of this watch, look, the old one and this one, again, no numbers between 4 and 8. What is that about?
It must be something to do with the car gauges. They want to make it look more like a car gauge.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. I don't like that.
Yeah. So this one, I'll hold it up to the mic. We got the alarm.
Make it do a
What?
thing.
It was
Did
going
you just
earlier.
break it? I think you broke it.
No.
You definitely broke it, dude.
Here, I just
I
got to
heard.
set this sucker.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
That's a good bell. That's
Yeah.
like a real school bell.
School's out.
That's a good bell.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I like that it doesn't say Aston Martin on the front. It does say Aston Martin on the back.
Yeah.
It's got the Aston Martin logo right there in the middle. Special edition for Aston Martin. Wonder what you had to do to get this one. Just buy it. It did
I
definitely
think
did
just buy
not
it.
come. Did not come with an Aston Martin. That's for sure.
No.
Kind of a neat piece though.
Yeah. I don't think any of them were horribly popular just because they were kind of funky. And they had complications in them, so that made them more expensive.
Right.
So they were expensive, kind of funky, and
Missing numbers 5, 6,
Yeah.
and 7.
yeah.
That throws me way off.
So I don't know how well they did, and maybe they'll be really collectible one day if they didn't make a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are any of these watches that we have, does the co-brand improve the collectability of any of them? Your Birdwell watch does.
Definitely. That one sold out like instantly.
That one sold out in 2 seconds.
I think a few of them.
The Tiffany dial Chopard.
Yeah.
That's
that
gonna
one's
be more
definitely worth
collectible.
more.
Possibly the IWC? Possibly?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I know that Tiffany dial anything is more valuable.
Yeah. And it all has to do with how many they made.
Right, right. And also, I think the ones like the COMEX Sea Dweller, because that co-brand is a commercial dive company. You know what I mean?
And it's
not
not
like a creation of a brand. It's like...
And they weren't selling them to anyone
Right.
outside of the divers.
See, that's the other one. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So if you create the co-brand and sell it to the public, that's less valuable than something like the Domino's Pizza Air King, where it was made just for a few people.
Yeah.
And now you got to find one, somewhere out in the world.
Yeah, because then the people that want to collect them, they can only collect them secondhand. So
Right.
they have to seek them out.
Totally. That's
and then
why
when you find one, you buy it. What if you want it? The price is the price.
I
and
know.
You're paying.
I think I think the Domino's Pizza ones are like $4,000 to $8,000. They're not crazy expensive.
Yeah. I remember when I first discovered those many, many years ago, I was like, what is this thing? This is the weirdest. It was like the only Rolex I could afford because nobody wanted it. Because it
a
said
few
Domino's
years ago,
on the
nobody
dial.
wanted it. Now it's a collector's item.
Yeah.
But for me, this was the best. This is the best one I think we've seen. This Pan Am, because this was 4 pilots.
Yeah.
With the unique blue dial. The logo happens to look really cool. It's a logo of an airline that doesn't exist anymore. And it's sort of like Pan Am is like, it's not only an airline that doesn't exist anymore. Like it's maybe partly because of the TV show or partly because of like what it meant at the time, but it was like such a of the time airline.
Yeah.
Like hot stewardesses.
totally
and
different era of flying.
Drinking martinis, and everyone's wearing a suit at the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, at that time, being a pilot was a big deal.
Right,
You were like royalty. So people really looked up to them.
yeah, that's rad.
Now I think a lot of the flight status is gone. It's
yeah,
you
dude,
know.
pilots wear quartz watches and shit.
Yeah.
It's not that cool.
Yeah, the headlines for flying are not really
not
flattering
glamorous.
right now.
So anyway, that's a little insight into co-branded watches. This episode's just a little bit shorter than normal, but
Well, I have one other watch to show.
what
actually,
do you got?
I've got
What
a
you
brand
got,
new
man?
watch that's not out yet.
What?
It'll be out.
Bro.
What day is it? Monday?
Today's Monday. This
It'll
show
be
will
out
be
when
up
this,
on Wednesday.
When this airs, this will be out.
Really? What
Yeah.
have you here?
This is a new
That looks thin.
blue dial, 38.
Ooh. 38 blue dial.
Yep.
Because formerly the 38 was just the white dial, right?
Yeah, white dial and black dial only. And yeah, it is pretty thin.
That's
Not
really
quite as thin
thin.
as the Chopard, but you
Well,
can see for size.
yeah.
Let's throw the Breitling up there just to
to
see. Whoa.
Whoa.
So it's quite a bit thinner than the Breitling.
Very nice. Your movement or Swiss movement?
This is a Swiss-based movement.
Uh-huh.
ETA 7001 is the base caliber, and then we do the decoration on the bridges, the screws, and also the ratchet wheel here. You can see that.
Awesome. How much is this thing?
This one is 1,250.
Sweet. And if you buy it using watch and listen in the comments box, free strap change tool and an extra strap.
Yeah,
That's nice, man. I
brand
like it.
new. And we actually have a latte dial as well now.
Oh, really?
I don't have one with me, but that'll be out on Wednesday too.
Oh, that's rad, dude. Congratulations. New watches from Weiss. And if you want to see more, follow them on the gram. Weiss Watch Company on Instagram. How do we get here? We need to go back here. Here we go. And making watches right here in America, in California. And, of course, follow me on Instagram, the usual. Crown and Caliber is where you will find all of these watches featured in studio today, except the new Weiss 38. So by the time this episode airs, these watches will be back at Crown and Caliber, available for purchase if any of them tickle your fancy. That's what I got. Next week on Watch and Listen, we're talking about modifying Seikos. There has been a lot of folks that have hit me up and asked us to do a show about modifying Seikos. Why is that?
I think it's a fun, kind of easy way to be a little more hands-on with watch collecting because you're taking a relatively inexpensive watch, but you're doing something unique and cool to it. And you can even do it yourself if you want to. There are people you can send them to, and they'll do it for like not a ton of money. You can change the dial or get a custom handset, a different crystal, whatever it is. You can change it, and then you kind of have your own unique custom watch. And it's easy and inexpensive.
All right. Well, that's a good reason. So stick around with us next week. We're actually going to have Michael from the Average Bros podcast. I did their show a couple weeks ago. Great guy, very chill. I had a good time on that show. They got a good audience. And he's super passionate about modifying Seikos. So he's going to come in as a guest, and we're going to talk about that next week on Watch and Listen. See you later.